こんにちは、渡辺健太郎動画のお時間です。今回の渡辺健太郎動画、ご遺族の方に、インタビューを刊行しました。このインタビューをですね、実現できたきっかけを作っていただきました YouTube チャンネルを運営されてます、トゥルース JAL 123クラッシュ。この方がですね、間に入っていただき、通訳もしていただきました。この方のチャンネルでは、この動画で上げたインタビュー動画も同時に上げますし、その後の遺族との会話、インタビューとかも上げていく予定だそうなので、今後そのチャンネルの方も、ご注目いただきますようお願いします。それでですね、事故ご遺族、この事故で、夫、湯川昭久さんを亡くされましたイギリス人女性、スザンヌ・ベイリー・湯川さん、この方にインタビューしましたので、ご覧ください。
This is Watanabe Kentaro. I'm a YouTuber. And this time I have invited Suzanne Bailey Yukawa from the UK, one of the victims, to 520 victims of the JAL 123 crash.
はい、それではですね、スーザンさんに登場していただきます。こんにちは、スーザンさん。はじめまして。今回はインタビューをお受けいただき、大変ありがとうございます。
Hello, Suzanne.
まず、
Nice meeting
自己
you.
紹介をお願いできますでしょうか。
Yeah, so hello everybody. I'm Suzanne Bailey Yukawa, and I'm the British partner of Akihisa Yukawa. He liked to be called Aki. So Aki was one of the 520 victims who was killed in the JAL 123 crash. And we met in London at the time when he was manager of the London branch of Sumitomo Bank. So we met by chance and our paths crossed. And at that time, on the surface, it looked like we were from different worlds. But from the very first moment we met, there was a very powerful chemistry between us. And very soon we discovered we had a spiritual compatibility that could transcend everything, including race, culture, age, everything. So I can say that Aki really did teach me the meaning of pure love. So we fell deeply in love, and we always believed that destiny had brought us together. So 3 years later, after the birth of our first daughter, we moved to Japan. And after that, through Aki's eyes, I very soon fell in love with Japanese culture too. And our love deepened every day. And basically, our life together couldn't have been happier. It was the happiest one could be in a lifetime.
なるほどですね。そういう深い、つながりがあった、ご家族、そんなご家族、アキさんとスーザンさん、の間に、訪れたのがその1985年8月12日、湯川さんはあの悲劇に見舞われたというわけですね。お聞きするのもですね、非常に辛いのですが、墜落の日のことをお伺いできますか。
Yes, so from the moment that Aki woke up very early that morning, he had a very, very strong sense that he should not go to Osaka that day. So I remember everything vividly, every detail of that day. And Aki did everything. He made every effort to try to cancel that trip. And because it was Obon, the Shinkansen train was, he had tried everything not to fly. And so he was really unhappy about that. And he was in a very, very unusual mood. And I can only say it perhaps was a kind of premonition. And so he was finally really unhappy because in the end, his head office insisted he had to go. So to try to feel better, he arranged, we had lunch together and he came home again.
Oh.
So we had so many conversations, and when he spoke to me, his voice came back to normal and he became happy again. And during those last conversations, I'm so lucky because we had we exchanged perfect words. And the last thing he said, I love you, dear, and I will come back tomorrow.
それでも、それが湯川さんとの最後のお別れになるとは夢にも思わなかったと
Having
いうわけ
said
ですよ
that,
ね。で、それでは墜落のことはどういう形で知ったわけでしょうか？
Yeah, in the first instance, Cassie, our 4-year-old daughter who was fluent in Japanese, she suddenly called me because she couldn't find her favorite children's TV program. There was instead a photo of a plane on every channel as breaking news. Yeah, so basically, this was the most agonizing moment in life because every page there are endless names, and Cassie and I watching intently, and I forgot that U for Yukawa in the hiragana order comes at the bottom. So every page I said to Cassie, it's okay, Daddy's not there. But then last page, I remember the shock like yesterday. It said Yukawa Akihisa 56, and then shock.
そうだったんですね。それではですね、事故現場にはすぐその後行かれたんでしょうか？また彼のご遺体とお会いになった時のことをお聞かせください。
Yeah, so this was the worst day in my life. On the morning of the 13th, I was taken to the hospital to see my doctor because the hardest challenge, I was so shocked and 9 months pregnant, so I was terrified my unborn baby is safe. So at first the doctor said, thank goodness baby is safe. But I said, I have to go to Gunma to look for Aki. But he prohibited me from going because he said it's so remote place and it's too dangerous to travel now. So he basically prohibited me from going, and instead I was given a mild sedation for the shock. And it was the hardest thing in the world not to go because I desperately wanted to join the search to look for Aki. And the only way I could bear it, it's almost I could hear Aki's voice, because in our last conversation he said, you have to stay, you have to look after our last creation. So it was like the echo of his words giving me some strength to do it. So after, you know, my world was destroyed and we were torn apart, and it was a defining moment because for me it was like I don't want to live, but I have to live, and I have to make that choice to carry on. But, you know, it was an easy choice because Cassie was 4 and new baby, new life coming soon. So, you know, of course, I had to live to be their mother and exactly what Aki would wish me to do. So I think for all the bereaved, in the deep shock, the hardest thing is to continue to breathe. But again, I somehow kept going and I kept going only because of every promise I made to Aki. So I did everything that, you know, he would have wished me to do with him and without him.
もしアキさんとスーザンさんの間に子供がおられなかったら、自殺していたのかもしれないと。本当に辛いですよね。
Yeah, I don't like to say the word suicide because at that terrible moment it was like live or die. But I really didn't have a choice because, you know, I had to be the best mother possible. So I put all my heart into doing that. Because again, that is all Aki would want me to do. But the challenge was I was terrified that my shock would damage our you know, unborn baby. But thankfully, she was born. So Aki's body was found on Thursday, the 15th of August. And immediately the next day, the chairman of Aki's company made a very bad decision about our family. So basically, the chairman told Aki's parents that he decided that we would not be recognized as the bereaved. And it was like a double shock because the chairman said we are prohibited from saying we are Akihisa's family. And of course that would have broken Aki's heart. He would have been devastated. So the problem was Aki's parents did not want to follow this arrangement because Takako repeatedly told me they did not want to do it. She was so sorry, but they had such terrible pressure and had no choice but to follow the request. So basically, I followed Takako's wishes because she had no choice and she was like a mother to me, a real mother. But your heart is broken, you've lost your loved one, and then another damage is because your family identity is torn away.
住友グループの一番トップからですね、遺族という扱いはしないというふうに言われたとお聞きしたんですけれども、なぜ遺族と認められなかったんでしょうか？理由は？
これは絶対に表に出せないっていうことになったんだ。彼のその功績とか JAL との関係とかは一切隠された。
I left Japan 3 months later, but I really didn't want to leave.